You want to come back? Good. Because a comeback is not a mood. It's not a quote on your lock screen. It's not a playlist. A comeback is a decision to become dangerous again when life has done everything it can to make you small. Most men live one heartbreak away from quitting, one setback, one betrayal, one bad month, one injury, one humiliation, and then they fold. They start talking about peace and balance like those words are virtues when really they're camouflage for surrender. I talk often about trauma as a man because trauma is the tuition. It's the price of admission. It's the thing that forces the lesson into your bones. If you want to be the kind of man who walks into a room and the temperature changes, you don't get there with comfort. You get there with scars, earned scars. You get there by being tested until excuses die. Look at the most capable men on earth. Soldiers, fighters, builders, entrepreneurs, men who can carry weight without crying about it. They've been through it. They've had their face pushed into the floor. They've had days where they were alone and broken. Nobody cared. And that's why they're built different. Because pain didn't destroy them. Pain educated them. The comeback is the moment you stop asking, why me? And you start saying, perfect. Not because suffering is fun, but because suffering is useful. It tells you what you're made of. It strips you down to truth. It shows you whether you're a man or just a boy wearing grown-up clothes. Every time life hits you, it's offering you a trade. It says, here, take this pain, take this loss, take this embarrassment, and I'll show you your weakness. Most men take the pain, and then they keep the weakness. They carry like a pet. They feed it, they defend it. They call it who I am. That's how you end up average. A real comeback happens when you take the pain and you burn the weakness with it. Let me tell you something you already know, but you keep pretending you don't. Nobody is coming. No one is going to rescue your reputation. No one is going to rebuild your discipline. No one is going to carry you to the gym. No one is going to protect your future while you scroll nonsense and complain. If you want your life back, you take it back. And if you're offended by that, good. Offense is a sign you're still weak. Weak men want soft words. Strong men want true words. The world is not waiting to reward you for having a good heart. The world rewards competence. The world rewards results. The world rewards the man who can endure and still perform. That's why I say trauma matters, because trauma is training. It's the harsh coach that doesn't care about your feelings, only your output. You say you want confidence. Confidence is not given. Confidence is built. It's built when you do the hard thing while you don't feel like it. It's built when you keep promises to yourself. It's built when you show up on the days you would rather disappear. Every rep, every page, every cold morning, every uncomfortable conversation, that's confidence. The comeback starts with one brutal, honest inventory. Where did you get soft? Was it comfort? Was it a relationship? Was it money? Was it attention? Was it the internet numbing your brain? Did you start negotiating with your own standards? Did you start letting little failures slide? That's how it happens. The fall is never one big event. The fall is 1,000 small permissions. You permitted yourself to sleep in. You permitted yourself to skip. You permitted yourself to talk instead of do. You permitted yourself to be busy with nonsense. And one day you woke up and realized you don't recognize the man in the mirror. Good. That realization is the alarm bell. That's the beginning of the comeback. Because if you can admit you became weak, you can decide to become strong again. But you have to stop lying to yourself. You have to stop calling laziness mental health. You have to stop calling fear being realistic. You have to stop calling procrastination waiting for the right time. There is no right time. There's only now. And now is always uncomfortable for the man who has wasted time. I'm going to say something simple. You must prove yourself. You must prove yourself to your bloodline. For thousands of years, men fought, bled, worked, sacrificed, survived disease, survived war, survived hunger, survived exile, survived everything so you could exist. And you want to sit in a chair, eating garbage, staring at a screen, telling yourself you don't owe anyone anything. That's disgraceful. That's not freedom. That's decay. You must prove yourself to God. If you believe you were given a mind, a body, a will then acting like a lazy spectator is disrespect. You were not built to be entertained into the grave. You were built to build. And yes, you must prove yourself to the world, not because you need validation, but because the world is a scoreboard. If you don't compete, you get used. If you don't rise, you get led. If you don't command respect, you get commanded. The comeback is the return of standards. It's the day you stop negotiating with mediocrity. People ask, how do I get my fire back? You don't get fire. You create it by starving your comfort. Fire is born when you remove the easy exits, when you cut off the escapes, when you make it impossible to live the old life. You want to come back? Start with this. Silence the noise. Stop arguing with strangers online. Stop watching other people live. Stop consuming opinions. Stop collecting motivation like stamps. Go quiet. Go cold. Go to work. Because the universe is extremely giving to the man who genuinely tries. I've never seen a man train hard, eat clean, sleep right, and stay weak. I've never seen a man study deeply and stay ignorant. I've never seen a man stack disciplined days and still have a worthless life. The myth always works if you do the work. Most people don't do the work. That's why they call hard truths toxic. That's why they hide behind excuses. That's why they get angry when you tell them responsibility is the key. They don't want the key. They want a refund. There is no refund. The comeback means you stop seeking sympathy. Sympathy is addictive. It lets you feel like a victim and still feel important. It gives you attention without achievement, and it will destroy you. When you're depressed, when you're angry, when you're lost, that is not a sign you should quit. That's a signal. It's your inner system screaming, change the environment, change the habits, change the story. Energy cannot be destroyed, only converted. Turn the darkness into fuel. Turn the humiliation into discipline. Turn the betrayal into focus. Turn the loss into war. You don't heal by talking forever. You heal by upgrading reality. You heal by building a life you respect. Here's the truth about comebacks. The comeback is private first. No applause. No announcement. No new me posts. Just you alone doing the boring reps while nobody believes in you. And that's good because belief is earned. You want to be dangerous again? Become consistent. Consistency is the closest thing to magic. The world is full of talented losers. They have potential. They have dreams. They have ideas. And they have nothing to show for it because they lack consistency. They cannot endure boredom. They cannot endure slow progress. They cannot endure being unseen. A comeback is endurance with direction. You need a plan, but you need brutality more. Your plan doesn't matter if you don't execute. Execution requires a certain kind of coldness, a refusal to negotiate, a refusal to debate with your inner weakness. When the alarm goes off, you move. When it's time to train, you train. When it's time to work, you work. Not because it's fun, but because you decided. And when you decide, you become hard to stop. The comeback also requires a new standard for your circle. If you sit with people who joke about quitting, you will quit. If you sit with people who normalize weakness, you will become weak. Your network is not a cute phrase. Your network is your reality. The 5 people closest to you will program your brain. So choose wisely or choose loneliness. Loneliness is better than poison. If you want to come back, you must stop being arrogant. Arrogance is the invisible chain. It's the voice that says, I'll figure it out on my own, while you repeat the same mistakes for 10 years. The comeback is humility with aggression. Learn from winners. Ask questions. Copy what works. Then outwork everyone. And don't tell me you're working hard if you work 8 hours and then collapse into distraction. Working hard means you're awake and you're building. It means you're using the gaps. It means you're stacking productive minutes until your life changes shape. You can have what you want, but you cannot have it and keep your old habits. You want the body? Earn it. You want the money? Earn it. You want respect? Earn it. You want freedom? Earn it. Freedom is paid for in discipline. And yes, you can build yourself. That's the best part of being a man. You can decide. You can be the kind of man who is calm under pressure, sharp in conversation, strong in body, lethal in work ethic. You can become the man who doesn't panic when life gets violent. You can become the man who doesn't beg for approval. You can become the man who makes decisions. The comeback is the moment you stop living like a passenger and start living like a commander. So if you're down right now, good. Use it. If you've been embarrassed, good. Learn. If you've been betrayed, good. Detach. If you've lost money, good. Rebuild smarter. If you've lost time, good. Stop wasting what's left. Your comeback will not be comfortable. It will not be polite. It will not be gentle. It will be ruthless. It will be a rebranding of your identity through action. One day you will wake up and realize the old you is dead. Not because you talked about it, but because you acted like a new man for long enough that the old man cannot return. That is the comeback. Now get up, get to work, and don't ask for permission. Let me break the comeback into stages, because your emotions will lie to you if you don't understand the process. Stage 1 is acceptance. You accept you fell off. You accept you got soft. You accept you let yourself drift. No drama, no self-hate, just truth. Truth is power. A man who can admit reality can change reality. A man who keeps lying will stay trapped inside the lie. Stage 2 is separation. You separate from the identity that failed you. You stop telling stories like I'm just not motivated. You stop labeling yourself as someone who always messes up. That's not a personality. That's a habit. And habits can be replaced. You are not your last mistake. You are your next decision repeated. Stage 3 is reconstruction. You build the day like an engineer. You don't rely on feelings. Feelings are weather. They change. You rely on systems. Systems are structure. They hold you when the weather is bad. Here's a system that works. Wake up early, train your body, feed it like a machine. Work in focused blocks. Remove distractions like they are enemies. Read, learn, build. Sleep on time. Repeat, that's it. It's simple. It's not easy because easy is what made you weak, but it's simple. Most men want to come back without inconvenience. They want to glow up without sweating. They want money without risk. They want respect without responsibility. They want strength without suffering. That's fantasy. The real comeback is inconvenient by design. It forces you to become reliable. If you're serious, you must stop bargaining. Bargaining is the language of a weak mind. I'll start Monday. I'll start when I feel better. I'll start when things calm down. Things will never calm down. Life is pressure. There's always something. There's always noise. There's always some reason to delay. A comeback is deciding that delays are done. You need to understand something about men. Men are built in conflict. You don't get forged in comfort. Steel doesn't become steel by being left alone. It becomes steel by heat and force. Your mind is the same. Pressure gives shape. So stop praying for an easier life. Pray for stronger shoulders. And don't confuse arrogance with confidence. Confidence is quiet. Arrogance is loud. Arrogance talks. Confidence works. Confidence shows up and handles business. Confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need to convince strangers. It doesn't need to win arguments. It needs to win the day. If your comeback is real, your habits will change first, not your captions. I'm going to give you some non-negotiables. If you want to come back, you do these, even when you don't want to. First, physical training. Your body is the engine. A weak engine makes a weak man. Train hard. Lift heavy. Run. Fight. Stretch. Learn to be uncomfortable on purpose. Discipline in the body becomes discipline in the mind. When you teach yourself to endure pain voluntarily, you become fearless of pain involuntarily. Second, clean inputs. Your mind is not a garbage bin. Stop feeding it trash. Stop binging negativity. Stop drowning in cheap entertainment. Every input becomes a thought. Every thought becomes a mood. Every mood becomes an action. So if your actions are weak, check your inputs. Delete the apps. Unfollow the noise. Curate your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. Third, focused work. Most people think they're working because they're busy. Busy is not productive. Busy is scattered. Scattered is fragile. You need deep work. You need hours where you are locked in, building something that matters. Skill, business, craft, fitness, anything real. That's how you climb. Fourth, money discipline. Money is not your purpose, but money is your leverage. Without leverage, you are controlled. If you can't pay your bills, you don't have opinions, you have fears. If you're broke, you'll tolerate disrespect. You'll tolerate a boss talking down to you. You'll tolerate a life you hate. So, make money, learn money, respect money, budget, invest, sell, improve your value. The comeback includes your bank account, whether you like it or not. Fifth, standards. Standards are what separate kings from peasants. A king has rules for himself. A peasant has excuses. Raise your standards in private. Raise what you accept from yourself. Raise what you accept from your circle. Raise what you accept from your time. Time is the only currency you can't earn back. Now, you might be thinking, what if I've failed before? Good. Everybody has failed. Failure isn't a stop sign. Failure is data. Failure tells you where your structure is weak. The only failure that matters is refusing to learn. If you keep failing at the same point, it's because you keep returning to the same habits. So change the habits. People love to talk about motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Motivation is the spark. Discipline is the firewood. If you wait for motivation, you'll always be inconsistent. If you build discipline, you become unstoppable. Here's a reality check. The comeback will cost you people. Some friends will hate the new you because the new you makes them feel exposed. Your discipline will reflect their laziness. Your progress will remind them of their stagnation. They will try to pull you back into the old version, not because they're evil, but because it's comfortable for them. They liked you when you were predictable. When you start winning, you become inconvenient to the losers around you. And I'm not saying that to be cruel. I'm saying it so you're not surprised. You will lose social points when you gain self-respect. That's the trade. Make it. Also, your comeback will cost you comfort. Comfort is a liar. Comfort whispers, you've done enough. Comfort says, relax. Comfort says, treat yourself. Comfort says, you deserve a break. And sometimes you do deserve a break. But most men are taking breaks from lives they haven't earned. They're exhausted from nothing. They're tired because their mind is cluttered, not because their body is worked. Earn your rest. You want to know what a comeback looks like in daily behavior? It looks like this. You wake up and you do not negotiate with the alarm. You train even if you're not in the mood. You eat like you respect yourself. You work like you're being watched by your future children. You speak like your words matter. You keep your promises. You stop chasing validation. You cut off distractions. You read instead of scroll. You build instead of complain. That's it. That's the comeback. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's relentless. It's glorious. And then one day, something happens. People start looking at you differently. They can't explain it. It's not your outfit. It's not your haircut. It's not your car. It's your energy. It's the energy of a man who can handle pressure. It's the energy of a man who is disciplined. It's the energy of a man who is competent. Brutal competence is magnetic. You can't fake it. You can imitate it for a day, maybe a week, but it collapses under stress. Real competence holds. Real competence is built by countless small actions done consistently. This is why I talk about trauma. Trauma can either break you or it can refine you. It depends on whether you use it. You have to stop romanticizing your pain and start weaponizing it. Stop wearing your suffering like a badge and start using it like fuel. If you have been disrespected, let it sharpen you. If you have been underestimated, let it train you. If you have been abandoned, let it make you independent. If you have been betrayed, let it make you wise. If you have been broke, let it make you strategic. And if you've been at rock bottom, let it make you fearless, because a man who has nothing left to lose becomes very dangerous. But don't confuse danger with chaos. Chaos is undisciplined. A real comeback is controlled aggression. It's a calm man with a plan. It's a man who can smile and still work. It's a man who doesn't need to shout because his results do the shouting. You want to come back? Stop talking about what you used to be. That's nostalgia. Nostalgia is poison. I used to be in shape. I used to be confident. I used to be on my grind. So what? The past is not a trophy. The past is either a lesson or a trap. Use it as a lesson. The only identity that matters is what you do today. Here's another hard truth. Nobody respects potential. Potential is invisible. The world respects proof. Proof is visible. Proof is undeniable. So build proof. Build a body you can rely on. Build a skill you can monetize. Build a mind that doesn't fold under pressure. Build a bank account that gives you options. Build a reputation that is based on discipline. If you do that, the comeback becomes permanent. And if you're wondering how long it takes, stop. That question is another form of weakness. The comeback takes as long as it takes. You don't ask how long it takes to become a man. You just become one. You will have days where you feel nothing. You will have days where you feel heavy. You will have days where you feel behind. That doesn't matter. The comeback is not emotional. The comeback is mechanical. You do the work anyway. The world is full of men who are addicted to feelings. They need to feel like it. That's why they stay average. Winners do not need to feel like it. Winners need to do it. Winners operate on command. If you want to be treated like a king, act like a king. Kings do not ask for permission to lead. They lead. Kings do not beg for comfort. They tolerate discomfort. Kings do not live by excuses. They live by standards. And yes, this will offend some people. Some people will call you extreme. Some people will call you obsessed. Let them. Average people use words to pull you back down. They'll call your discipline too much because it highlights they're not enough. Let them talk. You work. Your comeback is going to be built on the days no one sees, the days you're tired, the days you're angry, the days you're lonely, the days you could quit and nobody would know. Those are the days that define you. You want to talk about the comeback. Let's talk about pain. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is a compass. It points to what matters. If training hurts, it means you're growing. If work is hard, it means you're learning. If discipline feels heavy, it means you're leaving the old you behind. What destroys men is not pain. What destroys men is purposeless pain. Pain without a mission, pain without a goal, pain without a plan. Give your pain a mission and it becomes power. So here's your mission, become undeniable. Undeniable means nobody can argue with your results. Undeniable means you don't need to explain yourself. Undeniable means you walk into the room and you own your space because you earned that confidence. And it starts now. Tonight, instead of wasting time, clean your environment, make your bed, set your clothes, plan your work, prepare your food, make tomorrow easier for the disciplined version of you. Don't rely on morning motivation. Rely on evening preparation. Then wake up and execute. You do that for a week, you will feel different. You do that for a month, people will see it. You do that for 6 months, your life will change. You do that for a year, you won't recognize your old self. That is the comeback. And when the old weakness returns, and it will when the old voice shows up and whisper, just take it easy. You look it in the face and you say, not today, because you are not here to be comfortable. You are here to win. So stand up, tighten your mind, square your shoulders, breathe, and go earn the life you keep daydreaming about. No more waiting. No more excuses, no more stories. The comeback is action. One more thing, because some of you are listening with a half-hearted mind. You think a comeback is optional? You think you can drift and still be fine? You can't. Time is undefeated. Every week you waste becomes a weight you carry. And the older you get, the heavier the regret feels. You will either pay with discipline now or pay with pain later. Either way, you pay. So choose the payment that makes you stronger. When you feel resistance, that's the gate. Resistance is the guard at the door of your next level. Most men turn around when they see the guard. They decide the guard means not for me. No, the guard means prove it. Push through and the door opens. Your comeback will also demand clarity. Stop trying to be everything. Pick the mission, pick the craft, pick the target. You don't need 10 plans. You need one plan executed like your life depends on it. Because it does. And if you're thinking, but what if I fail again? Then fail again, but fail while moving forward. Fail with effort. Fail with lessons. Fail with progress. The man who never fails is the man who never tries. Your pride is not protecting you. Your pride is trapping you. So drop the pride, keep the standard. From this moment, your life is a contract. You sign it with action. You don't need to tell anyone. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You need results, and results come from work. Make your comeback so loud that your pets can't speak. Do it so consistently that doubt has nowhere to live. Do it so patiently that time becomes your ally. And when you finally arrive, when you look around and realize you're strong, again, focused again, respected again, remember this, you didn't get lucky. You got disciplined. You didn't get saved. You saved yourself. That is the only comeback that matters. Now, if you want a simple rule to live by during the comeback, it's this: every day, do something that scares the weaker version of you. Send the email, make the call, take the cold shower, train the extra round, say no to the distraction, say yes to the work. Your courage grows the same way your muscles grow under strain. And don't wait for life to be fair. Life will never be fair. Fairness is not the metric. Dominance is the metric. Competence is the metric. Character is the metric. You become the kind of man who can walk through unfairness and still win. So stop asking for a better world. Build a better you. That's the comeback. That's the speech. That's the mission. Now go. Tomorrow is not promised, but it is offered. And the offer is simple. Show up as the man you said you would be, or show up as the man you've been avoiding becoming. Your choice. Every sunrise is a vote. Cast enough votes for strength and you become strong. Cast enough votes for comfort and you become weak. You don't need talent to come back. You need honesty. You need structure. You need the willingness to suffer on purpose. That's it. That's the secret everyone refuses to accept because it makes them responsible. So take responsibility. Carry it like armor. And if you fall again, fall forward, get up faster, learn quicker, work harder. The comeback isn't one moment, it's a lifestyle. If you hear this and your chest tightens, that's truth touching you. Don't run from it. Use it. Breathe. Stand up. Fix one thing today, then another tomorrow. Repeat until you're unrecognizable. No excuses, no delays, go.